Hello guys, welcome to another interesting topic of career advice. So tell me one thing, have you heard of the project planning? For example, if you are working in a greenfield or brownfield expansion project, for them who don't know greenfield and brownfield, if your application is in SAP and you are doing some sort of upgrade on it, that is called brownfield. That is like existing application in SAP and you are enhancing some stuff, that is brownfield project. And if it is a brand new system need to be installed and your clients applications are in some legacy system like Microsoft or something other, some other thing, and they want to migrate that system to SAP, that is called greenfield project. So have you heard of like how this greenfield project are planned, executed, and how those individual modules are executed, how those things, how those individual functions, individual modules are coordinated? Similarly with the brownfield project. If you haven't, this class is going to be another exciting class for you. Not only specified to SAP, rather it's a whole bunch of stuff where we will talk about how a project plan happens in IT, how those individual modules of project plans are executed well within that timeline, how those are tracked, and how those individual modules are managed by the planner. So it is nothing but called a project plan. It's a comprehensive plan where we will talk about starting from the requirement gathering to SIT, which is system integration testing, how it happens, what is SIT, to UAT, unit testing, where customer will accept that whatever your architecture is as per their requirement and there are no defects, and how it will go live to the production system and what will happen after production system, which is called post implementation support, and how those end to end a year of project. It takes, for example, in a greenfield project, it takes about 1.5 years to complete the solution. So how those things are managed, who plans it, who is the planner, what is the job of the planner, what is the job of project plan, or what is the job of project management. So all those stuff in detail will be talked today in our class. So do not forget to watch it completely. If you are missing anything, so you can do a back and forth, and so that you can understand the concept fully and you can apply it in your professional career. If you are in IT, you will completely bang on, right? It is to the point. If you are in some other stuff, also you can relate it to your non-IT jobs as well. So yes, let's start the interesting class of project planning today. Let's begin. Thank you.
All right. So what I'm trying to explain how the project get implemented and what are the phases of the project and what exactly we do in the project implementation, right? So as I mentioned many times, there are three kind of project. One is called the greenfield project, where the legacy system is not SAP, non-SAP system, and we are going to implement the SAP system from the beginning itself. That we call the greenfield implementation. So this project particularly is a greenfield implementation where the legacy system is not SAP. They are using some MS Access and manual activities like they use registration forms, other stuff. So we need to convert them into SAP. So purely greenfield implementation. In this greenfield implementation also, they have two phases. The phase one is related to the implementation of the core modules. They call that RC modules. The core modules like they need to implement the FICO, MM is material management, plant maintenance, so sales and distribution. These are core modules or R3 modules. So first they implemented the R3 modules. Now they are saying that they have implemented the R3 model on top of a database. The database is S4HANA. So S4HANA is a new type of a database for SAP, which will increase the processing speed in SAP. So currently they implemented the first phase. When we implement any greenfield project, we have majorly four phases. Okay. The first phase we call the pre-sales activities. In pre-sales activities, we understand their requirements. We gather SRS document or RFP. RFP means request for proposal. SRS means uh, specific requirement sheet. So those details we require, we understand the feasibility. Then we put them in two segments. First segment would be the technical feasibility, and second would be the financial feasibility. So technical feasibility, whether our company has the capability to implement that or not. Second, financial feasibility, within how much money we can implement that. So those two things need to be done at the pre-sales activity. And once that is done, they will introduce three players from pre-sales activity. They call them L1, L2, L3. So in L1, L2, L3, they keep always three players. Why? If let it be tomorrow, L1 will say, no, we are not okay, or this will be more costly, and the business will tell, no, will not pay more than that. So they'll go to L2 like that. So even currently, when we are doing this workshop, the people already got the workshop from L2, L3. We are L1, so we are now giving the workshop to them. Okay, so finally, the business group, the team, you can see there are more than 20 people are joining from the business end. They have to do their voting, that is called core director committee, and they will decide, okay, these people are good or not. And based on that, they'll give you the purchase order. Okay, so that is pre-sales activity. Now, after pre-sales, the next part is called delivery activity. In the delivery, all these modules, how to deliver, these modules are coming to picture. So in across the globe, there are 9 kind of delivery methodologies. Okay. For SAP, the methodology called ASAP methodology. A stands for accelerated and ASAP. So that is called accelerated SAP implementation methodology. So now with time, the ASAP methodology is not so popular because people are moving towards Scrum and agile processes. Now, Scrum means within a small time period, how come you involve the business and show them some results? So that's the whole purpose of Scrum. And then they introduce Agile. Agile is again a process to reduce the timeline, increase the efficiency. So as time increases, this methodology introduced. But the most popular methodology, we call them waterfall model. In waterfall model, we introduce all the processes one after another. So you can see the first diagram, which is I mentioned as ASAP methodology. It is linked to the waterfall model, right? So waterfall model means first we gather the requirement, and once we gather the requirement, we understand what would be the solution. So during the gathering of the requirement in ASAP methodology, before that, we do a kickoff. Kickoff means we include all the team players, we explain them what is our objective, and based on that objective, they'll start working. Okay, so we fix the objective here, and that is our first, M1 means first milestone. Okay, then once the team formed, everything is set, we proceed to the field, gather the requirements, and create the AJIJ. Okay, AJIJ means what are the current practices of the utility company. So that is we call AJIJ, and that is called the BRD, Business Requirement Document. Sometimes it is also called SRS, but mostly as we are involved, like the consultants are involved, so they call it BRD, Business Requirement Document. Okay, once you prepare the BRD, on top of the BRD, we create a high-level design document or FDD. Okay, some people call HLD as well, high-level design document. FDD means functional design document. So that is called to be process. That means you understand the requirements, you understand what would be the solution. Once the AJIJ to be is over, like SAP is a customized product, we need to understand the gap analysis. Gap means, okay, the standard SAP which is not able to deliver. Now the question arises, is it a standard SAP deliver everything for the utility company? The answer is no. It's a customized product, it's an abstract product. Okay. I can give you a simple example. Like if you go to a shop, small shop, pan shop, and you ask some product, like you ask, okay, give me a cold drinks. Now he's saying, no, I don't have the cold drinks, but I can get for you. How? He will ask a nearer shop, get me a cold drinks, then he bring that and serve to you. Okay. But you will paying to that shop. And uh, to remove that problem, further onwards, he put a small refrigerator in his shop and keep cold drinks. That means he customized his shop by putting some more development, and that's how he is able to achieve its requirement, right? So similarly, SAP is a standard product which follow the best practices across the globe. But utility companies don't follow the best practices. They have their own practices. So if their practices is not mapped to the SAP practices, so we go for customization. Customization means development. Development means coding, right? So we change the screen, we add new fields, we change the logic, many things we do change, but within the frame of SAP product. Okay. So that is called gap analysis. From the gap analysis, we find RISEP W. Okay. RISEP W is kind of objects. How many objects we need to develop throughout the project development? Okay. The RISEP W full form is there. R stands for report, I stands for interfaces, C stands for convergence logic, CE stands for enhancement, F stands for form, W stands for workflows. So these are the objects which we need to develop to map the gap. Okay. So now these are the gap analysis we did. We collect all these RISEP W counts, and from there we understand how many developers need to be involved in these projects. Okay. So this phase is over. Now blueprint phase is over. In ASAP methodology, once you get all the FS document, you get the RISEP-W list, you develop the FS functional specification sheet for each of the object, your blueprint phase is over. Now, so once we completed the blueprint phase, we proceed with a phase called build phase. So in build phase, we do the configuration and we develop the products. Okay, we develop the objects, and after development of the objects, the developers do the UT. UT means unit testing on top of that object. Okay. Now the configurations are done by the functional consultant and the development is done by the above developers. Okay, we call them technical consultant. Once the UT is over, the testing team come into picture. So the testing team will provide all kind of first they will introduce the test strategy. Once test strategy over, they will create all type of test scripts based on each of the object. So after test script, they will create this script for ST. Once they will create this script for ST, it will be dropped, the meeting will be dropped, join in the same link. Okay. So once the test script will be over, they'll go to the business, get the permission to do the testing for ST and SIT. Once the ST SIT over, the testing phase will be completed. Once the testing phase is completed, then the real phase will come, that is called UAT, user acceptance testing. Now in this, the business will be there, the testers will be there, the functional consultant will be there. And in background, the developers would be there. So they'll show you what they required at the first phase, what is their Ajit, and what developed and how it is behaving in the system. If the user is happy, they'll give a sign up on user acceptance testing. So they'll give a sign up, okay, I'm fine with that. And once they'll give the sign up, there will be a cutover and go live planning session. And then we go for go live. Once the go live is over, the next would be support. Okay, live support. Support will continue. Now, there is another segment, data migration. It will be like this. Because data migration is like, we need to collect all the legacy data and put into the system. Okay. So the legacy data means what are the data currently they are using to control their utility company. So probably in this session 2, when Neeraj is giving, some of the business users asking for a data template. Okay. And that was our session 2, but still they are looking for a data template. So somebody steered them wrongly. So they are looking for a data migration template on the day 2, but it is not true. First, we need to gather all the requirements, all the configurations and base is prepared, then only we'll just provide them a data template. On that, they'll go to the field or from their sources and gather the requirement, and then the migration activity will start. The data migration activity will happen with different tools. So Prabhas, he will be looking up the data migration with 3 other people. Okay, so data migration is very easy kind of a stuff. Not easy, it's a very like the tools are easy, but it is very lethargic work. Means you have to deal with lot of data. So collection of the data, data cleansing, data conversion logic, and then data upload. So those things are there, 4 stages. So collection of the data mostly done by the business people. Data cleansing, which fields not required, which field required, which data is not clear, you need to put some logic. I can give one example. If like there are data where we need to put whether the person is married or unmarried. Now, and that data is more older than 50 years. So should we put married or unmarried? What we do, we put some default values like all married. Okay, who all are having
Okay.
date before 30 years or 50 years, we put married. That is called
Okay.
default valuation. Okay. So what are the data currently you have? Let it be you have in Excel sheet. Now you need to put them into SAP system. So SAP system is just the logic two kind of tool, LSMW and Amigal. So you need to put a method, a concept by which it will fetch the data and put into the SAP tables. But that conversion logic need to be given by the functional consultant. Okay, so this is the process, because what happened that in conversion logic, you need to mention which data will go first, then which data will go second. If the sequence will be not there, so the first data will go, which should go at 7th step, and the 7th step data will go first step. In that case, the previous data will be automatically removed from the table. Okay. So during the conversion logic, you have to be very careful that what is the practices, processes followed in SAP, then only you can link the conversion logic to the legacy data. And once the conversion logic is there, the data uploaded will happen. So once the data upload happen, what is the next? Next is mock. Mock means you can put the data multiple times like mock 1, mock 2 to check whatever the data you have. If you increase the size, is it uploading correctly? Yes, it is uploading correctly. Then you would upload all the data and do testing on top of that. In mock 3, you will upload all the data to doing the UAT, right? Then finally, there will be a parallel run, they called. You upload all the data, live data, and on a quality system, not on live system. And they have their own legacy system. They will bring their own invoices. We will generate our own invoices. They'll compare each of the invoices line items. Okay, now it is correct. So they'll go for go live. Now the question arises, okay, this much time we are taking, almost 60 weeks. So why we are taking this much time? What is the scope of our project? So in our scope, as I mentioned, we are into phase 2. So in our scope, we need to implement the SAP ISU device management, DMS device management, and EDMS energy data management. Okay, then we implement the WM and PM, and all these modules are part of SAP ISU. Then we are implementing the core module of billing and invoicing, then FICA, and then we'll integrate to CRM. Okay, so how many modules we have? Okay. We have around, actually we have around 9 modules. Okay. Each module we need 2 persons. Okay. So 28 persons would be there. Sorry, 18 persons would be there. And then we need to do the development and the testing and migration, parallel run and deployment, and finally live test. Okay. So in Africa, they follow a process called Activate process. In Activate, they have again 4 phases: prepare, explore, realize, and deploy. In prepare phase, they'll go with the project setup, which is kickoff, self, enable, and initial system. right? And it will link to the solution validation. So we are in prepare phase, okay? And we are just going to jump into the explore phase. Once we jump into explore phase, we'll start working on the solution, right? So in prepare phase, we are giving the L1 training to the business, and if they are happy, they will give us the PO, then we'll move to the explore phase. Once explore phase is over, we'll proceed for our build and configuration phase, and then we'll go for the testing, solution test, and then UAT and production setup and migration and go live. So that is called deployment. This is the phase. They just put the same stuff into 4 segments. So in PMP, if somebody go through the PMP, the first page would be entry, last page would be exit. And in between, there will be, you need to gather the requirement and design and deploy. Okay,